Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Does anyone else realize how unsustainable this is? This is coming from Crypto Zombie here on Twitter. 272,000 Bitcoin. Okay guys, bought in the last 28 days by ETFs. This is what's going to drive price of Bitcoin first and foremost, but the rest of the crypto market is going to trend with Bitcoin once we do see those prices go up. And just take a look at this demand, guys. Okay, meanwhile, only 25,200 Bitcoin were mined. Yes, GBTC outflows are still a concern, but at some point that will have to end. Assuming this number stays consistent or possibly even increases with roughly about 2 million Bitcoin on exchanges based on today's liquidity, that would mean in about 8 months' time there would literally be 0 Bitcoin available for sale. Now, 8 months' time, guys, that is going to be bringing us to roughly the height of the bull market. And not to mention the halving in 3 months, so he hasn't even considered the halving here. Factor that in and we could see demand explode for Bitcoin. This will cut the amount to just 12,600 Bitcoins mined in the same amount of time. Then the real FOMO kicks in. So giving us a bit of a graph here, 272,000. Okay, this was Bitcoin bought by ETFs. You got to remember, the ETFs, they want to buy Bitcoin because they have to hold the asset and they want to sell you a derivative product. So you're not actually holding Bitcoin when you buy into these ETFs. The purists are very critical of this. Me, myself, I would personally prefer to own Bitcoin. However, if I can be exposed to the volatility through an ETF, I have no problem purchasing one of those too. But remember, the true Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin, that is being held now by the institutions. So an interesting little piece of information here. Fred Krueger here commenting on the same. 4 times as much money went into Bitcoin funds last week net than any other week in history. 4 times as much. Now, unfortunately, we haven't seen Bitcoin price really kind of explode, guys. This is not really a cause and effect scenario, although we have been seeing Bitcoin price rebound a little bit. We were eyeing this price point here, this level of support, 50,600 per BTC. And now we're getting a Bitcoin rising up to about 51,100. So we have seen a bit of an upward trend here for Bitcoin. Still really trying to find its footing in and amongst this scenario. Putting this back on the daily, you guys can see if I zoom back out here, you can see Bitcoin price is now touching these levels of resistance here. The 2 shoulders of the head and shoulders pattern when we did see all-time high. So we're getting very, very close now. At this point in time, Bitcoin was down nearly about 25% from its all-time high. So that might be a metric to be paying attention to as well. In the last bull run, when we were down 25% from all-time high, if we were to take the last all-time high here and bring this down 25% from all-time high, we would have been in and around, roughly in and around here, okay? So a Bitcoin trading in and around here, and that would have brought us to about November 2020. So still quite a ways to go for this bull run, I think. The greedy sentiment in the crypto market now receding a little bit. Market cap is at 1.96 trillion and 24-hour volume going down a bit. Bitcoin, though, still maintaining the leader. We are seeing a bit of green on the board here, but the crypto market, generally speaking, not moving too much, just waiting for that next Bitcoin pump. XRP is moving a little bit to the upside today. This is XRP on the daily. If I throw it here on the hourly, you guys can see over the last several hours, we have seen a bit of an uptrend, but nothing really moving, nothing exciting quite yet. But guys, this demand is going to explode. Even Navin Gupta, the ex-Rippler, has predicted that the crypto boom is just around the corner. So Navin Gupta used to work for Ripple. Obviously, now he's the CEO of Crystal, and he predicts a Bitcoin boom. And guys, again, because of the Bitcoin ETFs, according to Gupta, the company's growth will see an acceleration following the approval of the spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund in the United States, which has resulted in a high rise in the number of firms applying for operating licenses. And here's what Navin Gupta had to say. Hundreds of firms were waiting in a license queue, and they are in some form of regulatory discussion with the regulator to make sure that they get licensed, he says. Every single firm that gets regulated needs compliant software monitoring and to prove to the regulator that they are doing anti-money laundering compliance. Increased stablecoin adoption too. So he's saying, you know, with the regulations such as the travel rule in place, there's a new swath of customers who want to accept or pay through stablecoins. So stablecoins is also, one of those things that's going to be on the table. Part of the regulatory problems that we have been seeing in the U.S. have to do with stablecoins and regulating those so that, to prevent money laundering. I feel like the stablecoin situation is what regulators really kind of want to nail down, because with stablecoins under control, that would decrease potential threats towards the US dollar. That is my thoughts on that and decrease potential money laundering, just because these coins are basically a copy of the US dollar, but there are no rules surrounding them. So, this is all, again, part of, the crypto adoption framework and how we're slowly seeing that frame up. I mean, the bull run is not waiting, though. This thing is going to take off, and I feel like, they've had so many years to regulate cryptocurrencies. Now that the ETFs are approved, the demand going to flow into Bitcoin, they're not going to have much time left. Even XRP searches have surpassed Ethereum in certain countries, guys. This one courtesy of Michael Branch here. Despite the lengthy lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC, XRP remains strong among the trendiest cryptocurrencies. Its popularity rose significantly last year when Ripple secured 3 vital yet partial court victories against its opponent, and guys, even surpassed Ethereum in certain Google searches in a few countries, namely Japan, Philippines, and South Africa. They were the 3 nations where we did see XRP searches actually surpass those of Ethereum. So the number 2 cryptocurrency surpassed by XRP, followed by Finland and Indonesia, rounding up numbers 4 and 5. So Japan, Philippines, South Africa, they were seeing trends of XRP surpassing Ethereum. Meanwhile, the rest of the world still looking up Ethereum. But I think this will flip, of course, XRP still beaten down. Comparing it to Bitcoin now, let me just bring up the XRP Bitcoin chart real quickly here. You guys can see sentiment very, very low, and trading prices very, very low too when you compare XRP to Bitcoin, the king crypto. But, it gets to a point where it can only be beaten down so much, and then we see XRP pop compared to Bitcoin start moving to the upside, and that's generally, when we see XRP's time in the sun. I'm eyeing this level here. If we can get somewhere in this level of support down and around here, and I know it's a very, very wide level, but that is ultimately, well, it's what we've seen in the past. And, generally when we do bounce off support, it's going to be like a rocket. So keeping an eye on XRP, of course, the rest of the crypto space. I do still think Bitcoin does have to move higher before we see that kind of thing. Wanted to keep moving. XRP drops, bringing this to our attention. Congratulations to Seamus Donoghue, Medico's Chief Growth Officer. He just started a new position as VP of Growth at Ripple. So he was just celebrating there. Another new placement there. Another Ripple employee moving from Medico to Ripple now. Of course, I'm sure there's been a lot of shuffling over there considering the acquisition that happened last year. Also, from this journal study, guys, Wrath of Kahneman, Dynamic Spillovers and Portfolio Implications Between Green Cryptocurrencies and Fossil Fuels. Okay, this is a new report. Here's the abstract, and they're talking about cryptocurrencies in terms of the environment, environmentally friendly solutions on the blockchain. So are green investments decoupled from the dirty investments such as fossil fuel markets? We address this issue by extending the literature on environment and social governance, ESG, as some of you guys probably already know what that means. They talk about the spillover here. Furthermore, we analyze the hedging attributes of green cryptocurrencies and fossil fuels in a minimum connectedness framework. The main findings are as follows. First, green cryptocurrencies are the main shock transmitters in all asset systems. Second, the dynamic connectedness between green cryptocurrencies and fossil fuels increased during the beer flu and during the Russia-Ukraine conflicts. Third, green cryptocurrencies have shown considerable hedging effectiveness against the fossil fuels. Our study has important implications for investors, regulators, and policymakers, such as shifting to green cryptocurrencies, regulation of carbon footprint, and promoting eco-friendly assets. So if you check this out, and if we just go to the report down and around here, you guys can see some of their solutions, some of their choices down here for the 5 green cryptocurrencies that they name in this report. Cardano, Ripple, which is XRP, of course, IOTA, Stellar, and Nano were employed in these methodologies. So an interesting new report here from the National Library of Medicine, PubMed Central, from the government website ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. So another correlation here with the Green Initiative, the government of the United States, and naming certain cryptocurrencies that they see as environmentally friendly, naming Ripple one of those cryptocurrencies on the website. So guys, these cryptos are going to be utilized in a real-world setting. There is, obviously, very good reason why people want to work at Ripple, why it's only really a handful of companies that, governments and financial institutions and even just worldwide organizations like the World Bank, the IMF, why they want to rally behind certain cryptos and certain companies. Meanwhile, other cryptocurrencies are, classified as fraud and are having a very, very hard time getting past U.S. regulators. So I wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Michael Branch also bringing this to our attention. Yes, Michael, they are another Ripple partner. This has to do with Nubank. You guys don't remember Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, did invest in Nubank. Nubank is Ripple enabled, and now they've seen some profit growth. Okay, Brazilian fintech technology firm Nubank on Thursday posted a more than six-fold increase in net profits in their fourth quarter as it added nearly 5 million new customers to its ranks. So 5 million new customers in one quarter. I'm assuming that's over one quarter. Nubank's net profit jumped from $360.9 million, though it missed the $410.7 million estimate of analysts compiled by LSEG. In return on equity, a measure of financial performance, hit 23% in the quarter. Revenues at the firm were up to a record of $2.4 billion, a 57% boost on a currency-neutral basis from a year-ago quarter. That's what Nubank said, topping their estimates. Average monthly revenue per active customer grew 23% on a currency-neutral basis in the quarter as well. The firm's credit portfolio also improved slightly, with loans overdue by 15 to 90 days decreasing to 4.1%. Loans overdue by more than 90 days remained stable, though, at 6.1%. But guys, Nubank, Ripple-enabled and invested in by Berkshire Hathaway, has seen record growth, 23%. I'm assuming this is over the year, but they're talking about the quarterly results. Nevertheless, very, very pleasing results, I would assume, for the shareholders over there at Nubank. Don't know if it's actually a publicly traded company. Nevertheless, I do know it is a Ripple-enabled company, so sounds like they are doing very, very well. Wanted to thank Michael for posting that. The Ripple XRP lawsuit coming close, very, very close to a conclusion. Good Morning Crypto here, posting this from his podcast, The Significance of April 21st and Potential Ripple Settlement. He had Fred Rispoli on his show. Watch Good Morning Crypto live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. A plug for his channel here, guys, but a little clip of Fred Rispoli just discussing the possible outcome here, what we're in for over the next couple of months. Listen to this.
Ever since we got that ruling on July 13th, XRP in and of itself is not a security, but we're yet to see the United States adopt these technologies on a mainstream level, like we're seeing with Ethereum. We're seeing it with Bitcoin. I'd love to hear from you. What is the significance of April 21st, the official resolution of the lawsuit, as well as a possible settlement? Could we see something major after that date? What's your takeaway?
All right, so everybody knows that last year in the summer, we got the great ruling, XRP is not a security, but the case against Ripple is still going on by the SEC, and they are still trying to give it a death blow. Now, they already lost first round, but they're trying to use this damages litigation to see if they can get a little round two, a little second bite at the apple.
Second bite of the apple. I guess we'll have to see what happens when we finally do come into April. Again, guys, this is very interesting timing. I don't know if they were coordinating this to line up with the Bitcoin halving. We know, generally speaking, after that Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin starts to pop, and then altcoins follow shortly thereafter. So, it would be very, very convenient timing, I gotta say. Right now, we're still in a wait-and-see period. We could still see some declines for crypto, the entire crypto market. Bitcoin, of course, routinely does, retrace before the halving, and then generally after the halving, we do see that pop. So it is still anybody's guess. Wanted to thank Good Morning Crypto for that clip there, and I do suggest you guys check out that interview. I was not expecting this. Ashley Prosper bringing this to our attention, guys. Mark Cuban retweeted out John Deaton's tweet. I guess he's also not a fan of Elizabeth Warren. Ashley Prosper posting this. Mark Cuban retweeting out Deaton for Senate. You're up, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Elizabeth Warren has to go. John is the right choice. So retweeting out Eleanor Turret's tweet originally. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban retweeted out John E. Deaton 1 and Deaton for Senate. And so here it is. John Deaton did originally tweet this. Please consider following Deaton for Senate and visiting johndeatonforsenate.com. I appreciate each and every one of you. And you guys can see here, Mark Cuban reposted this tweet here from John Deaton. So John Deaton's getting the big guns behind him. All very, very positive news, not just for the XRP army, but for cryptocurrency as a whole. I think VeChain's also got some new news. Partnering up with SolarWise, guys. SolarWise strategically embraces VeChain as its foundational blockchain technology, harnessing its scaling solutions for seamless, transparent transactions via solar NFTs. And if you guys are interested, the white paper is up here. Some of the problems that they found here, global energy crisis exacerbating the reliance on non-renewable sources poses severe environmental and health risks, including climate change, severe health conditions, and more. And demand for renewable energy is growing continuously. But the solution, guys, the SolarWise project introduces solar NFTs, representing ownership stakes in a solar farm through blockchain and real-world asset tokenization, with a mission to transform energy ownership and a mission for universal sustainable energy ownership. Solar NFTs offer financial opportunities, fractional ownership, increased liquidity, and a commitment to mitigating the global energy crisis. And so I will link this article down here if you guys are interested in this project. But just another real-world use case here for one of the cryptocurrencies that I have in my legacy portfolio, but also part of the $10,000 plus portfolio that you guys can find over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you're interested in following what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be trading, what my targets are going to be, how much I hold, finding out all that good stuff, guys. But here's what SolarWise is doing in relation to VeChain. SolarWise operates on the VeChain blockchain, ensuring transparency and accessibility in renewable energy investment. Through our solar NFT platform, powered by VeChain, we facilitate fractional ownership of solar farms, pioneering a new era of inclusivity and sustainability in the industry. So you can join them if that is something you guys are interested in. One solar panel equals 4 solar NFTs. Wow. So, finding new use cases, of course, the environment and traceability has always been a big part of VeChain's goal. So I wanted to thank Eisenreich here for posting that. And guys, did you happen to see this? Rizzo here posting this, Pete Rizzo, Satoshi Nakamoto's earliest contributor or collaborator, Marty Sirius Malmi, just released their entire email history at 120 pages. It's the most significant addition to the archives of Bitcoin's unknown inventor. So this was just released, and I will link what I have here in the description of the video. Rizzo does go over some of the highlights, which I'm going to just kind of skim over here, but you do have the screen grabs of all the Satoshi emails here. When asked how Bitcoin might scale in the future, Satoshi theorized the network would have a maximum of 100,000 nodes. Here he goes into calculations and the economics of the network at scale. About 50,000 nodes run the software today. Satoshi believed Bitcoin mining would be less energy intensive than the legacy banking system. That's interesting. This is by far his best new quote. Satoshi foresaw at least one viable non-monetary use for Bitcoin backing, the time-stamping use case. Satoshi's describing the differences between Bitcoin and DigiCash, David Chaum's failed e-money. This is notably how Chaum's work had a profound impact on cypherpunks, including Hal Finney. Now, there's also been a discussion that Hal Finney was or could be part of the Satoshi gang. One of the Satoshis. Satoshi was actually concerned about his legal risk in launching Bitcoin, nothing he was uncomfortable with explicitly labeling it an investment. Note, here we also did see he didn't come up with the term cryptocurrency himself. By July of 2009, Satoshi was tired, saying he needed a break from Bitcoin. Here he also explains Hal's absence from the work, Satoshi discussing how Bitcoin might gain adoption. Of note is his emphasis that Bitcoin was easy to obtain given you could mine it on a computer, very different from how we think about Bitcoin today. In June of 2010, someone offered to donate $2,000 to Satoshi for his Bitcoin work. Notably, he had the donor send it to Maddie's address. Already known, but Satoshi was pretty adamant that early users consider Bitcoin free. Here he is discussing removing the transaction fees from the UX of an early software. And then Satoshi saying he was working on Christmas Day. Satoshi saw Bitcoin taking hold as a way to trade other internet currencies like Liberty Reserve. Note, Liberty Reserve was later shut down by the United States. Satoshi had a mysterious leave of absence from Bitcoin in 2010. Here he's talking about it with Marty. Though it's notable, also short on details. It was Satoshi who removed the language that Bitcoin was anonymous from Bitcoin.org. He worried it made Bitcoin sound shady. So some interesting insight here from Satoshi Nakamoto. Worth noting too, given the historical revisionism around this, Satoshi thought very highly of Gavin Anderson. Here he's praising Gavin and referring to someone else as a goofball. We finally have a copy of the email Satoshi sent to other developers before taking his name off the project website. As they've said, Satoshi doesn't mention his intention to step back from the project at all. Now, this was all information from between 2009 and 2010, I believe. Maybe it was from earlier. 120 pages, guys, in the archives. But not only that, I don't know how many of you guys remember this. I did talk about this a while ago now. But I thought maybe because some of you guys are new to the community, it was worth bringing up. Blockchain backer also noticing from the apparent Satoshi emails, he talked about Ripple. Ripple is interesting in that it's the only other system that does something with trust beside concentrated into a central server. So Satoshi, even within these emails talking about Ripple, familiar with the system, as trust systems go, Ripple is unique in spreading trust around rather than concentrating it. I've been asked at least 4 other times, have you heard of Ripple? Now, some of you guys might think, yeah, but how would he have known of Ripple if Ripple did not come out until 2012? There is an answer for that. BS Skeet did ask that question. Jungle Inc. responded, though, pre-XRP, a bunch of hippies were trading stuff back and forth on something called Ripple Pay, which was created by Ryan Fugger, I believe, in 2004. So even before Bitcoin, Crypto Daz FX saying, this was Ryan Fugger's Ripple, not the same Ripple as we know today. But I'm sure some of the guys that worked on the system did want to transform the concept and created the Ripple that we knew today. Crypto Arsenal here saying this is old news and also nothing to do with XRP, just the Ripple concept that preceded the XRP ledger. Remember when we noticed this way back when in these emails, Ripple is interesting in that it's the only other system that does something with trust beside concentrated into a central server. So Satoshi, very interested in what has now become something that is going to change actually going to change the face of finance. In the early days, people were thinking, no, it's going to be Bitcoin. But guys, we know better. We know what we hold. And I think we are going to see XRP explode. I think there is a possibility that Ripple will definitely flip some of these coins, getting back maybe to number 3, maybe even the number 2 spot, and eventually usurping Bitcoin one day. I don't know. That is just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by March the 31st. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you are not already, like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.